Little Lobo has a brand new truck. The truck is packed up and ready to go. ¡Qué bonito camión! What a beautiful truck, Little Lobo! What do you have back there? Today is the big celebration, la gran celebración. I have piñatas, cakes, rockets, presents, and last but not least, Ranita y sus lily pads. Hey, LL. We're just chilling and practicing our rolas. Yay! They are my favorite band! La Celebración is across the river in a city in another country. Veo el puente! I see the bridge! At night, from high above, the two cities on either side of the bridge look like one big city. Every day, thousands of people cross from one side of the bridge to the other. They go to work, shop, and visit family and friends. They cross by car, by truck, on foot, and by skateboard. On one side of the bridge, most people speak Spanish. And on the other, most speak English. But lots of people in both places speak both languages. Woo! Woo! Woof! Woof! It is a busy day on the bridge. Look at this line, Little Lobo. We'll never get to the other side. Oh, no. People are tired of waiting. What should we do to pass the time? Open your eyes, Cookie. Hay mucho que ver. There is so much to see. Many people are working on the bridge. Mal Burro and Piqui Pequeño are washing people's windshields. No! Por favor! Ahora no! Please, no! Some are selling snacks to hungry drivers. Chicle! Bubble gum! Who wants bubble gum? Cacahuates! Peanuts! I have peanuts! I'll take an agua fresca, por favor. Everywhere they look, there is something new to see. jugglers? Look over there, Cookie. It's El Toro and friends. They must be heading to La Celebración. ¡Ay, Chihuahua! So many vehicles putter in place, waiting for their turn to cross the bridge. As the day turns to night, Cookie Dookie begins to honk the horn. ¿Qué pasa? What's happening? We have been on this bridge for hours. Tengo hambre! I am hungry! Hearing Cookie's call, all the food trucks on the bridge turn on their ovens. Meow. Aguas frescas! Woo, woo, woo! Tacos! Do you smell that? Churros. Just because we are stuck on this bridge doesn't mean we can't celebrate. Ranita, would you sing us a song?
Ay, 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 vamos a cruzar el puente.
Everyone begins to dance. Los bailarines folclóricos show off their dance moves. The lowriders hip and hop. Señor Pupetro puts on a show. And last but not least, El Toro and his friends help Little Lobo hang up all the piñatas. Everybody gets a whack. Celebración. Baile. Piñata. With candy raining down on the crowds, Little Lobo sets off his fireworks. That night, on a bridge between two countries, La Celebración came to everyone. Glossary. These are only some of the words found in Little Lobo's story. Be sure to look up other ones you don't know in a Spanish-English dictionary. El águila, eagle. El autobús, bus. El avión, plane. El baile, dance. La bota, boot. El camión, truck. La camioneta, van. La canción, song. El cascabel, rattle. El cemento, cement. Las chispas, sparkles. El chivo, goat. El cinto, belt. El claxon, horn. El coche, car. El cofre, car hood. El dulce, candy. Las estrellas, stars. El faro, headlight. Las flores, flowers. El fuego, fire. El gallo, rooster. El hueso, bone. La luna, moon. La luz, light. El maullido, meow. El monumento, monument. La mosca, fly. La motocicleta, motorcycle. 8, 8. El paracaídas, parachute. La patineta, skateboard. La ranita, little frog. Rápido, fast. El río, river. El sol, sun. El telescopio, telescope. La trompeta, trumpet. El viaje, trip. La viejita, little old lady. Los zancos, stilts. A note from Raúl III. Mi mamá was born in Mexico City in 1954. And when she turned 13, she moved with her family to Ciudad Juárez. With her family, she worked at the Mercado Cuauhtémoc, selling a wide array of crafts and goods. Juárez is a Mexican border town, and across the river in the United States is a city named El Paso in Texas. My dad grew up in a community in El Paso called Isleta, which was settled in 1680. When he was 21, he visited the Mercado Cuauhtémoc and immediately fell in love with mi mamá. A few short months later, they were married. I was the first of 3 boys born in El Paso, Texas. And for me, El Paso and Juárez were one giant city filled with family and friends. I remember waiting at the bus stop with my mom and brothers as we began our journey to Juárez to visit family at the Mercado. Once we arrived in downtown El Paso, we would go through the turnstile and begin crossing the bridge into Juárez. The bridge was built over the Rio Grande, and sometimes we crossed it by foot, and other times we went in the car. The bridge was a magical place, with people walking or driving back and forth. If you drove over the bridge, you were greeted by street vendors, windshield washers, performers, and all sorts of interesting people and cars. We crossed the bridge to visit family and loved ones, to work, to play, and to shop. The bridge connected us to our dreams and to the possibilities they contained. The bridge was our link to our past and to the future it has helped create. And each time I crossed it, I celebrated the long journey of my ancestors.